Hello everyone, happy Thursday. It's Lisa Brown here with Ink and Inspirations, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in the United States. And we are going to be making a really sweet card today. I'm going to give it a minute and let some people join in. Good morning, Pam, or good afternoon, as the case may be. I decided not to try my fancy technology stuff again today. I need to test it first. So rather than go through all of that, we are doing it where I'll flip the camera down in a minute and hopefully I won't break my stand like I did last week. So anyway, come on in, say hello, get comfortable, and we're going to be having a fun craft and chat time. So I'm going to be sharing this on my other groups. So give me just a minute and let me do that. How's everybody doing today? Jackie is out cleaning the porch and the benches and everything on the porch. My sister, her daughter, my niece, and my dad are driving in today. So I'm so excited for them to come up and visit for a week. And anyway, y'all know how the pollen is at this time of the year. Well, there was just a coat of yellow pollen on everything. And it's like he doesn't wash the logs down until all of that is through, hopefully. And so anyway, he's doing that. So it'll be nice and clean when they get here. So let me share this. Just come on in. You can say hello and where you're watching from. If this is your first time, welcome. So glad to have you. Okay, let's see. Post. Okay, let me try this one more time. Let's see. Share. Hello, everyone. Okay, I have one more group I need to share this to. My Ink and Inspiration Stampers group. Sometimes, and I share like this to the groups because the way Facebook is, sometimes unless you're in a private group or, you don't get the notification. So that's why I'm doing that. Now, hopefully, I'm going to get on my iPad here where I can see your comments. There they come. Hello. Okay, so let me just tell you what we've been doing. Okay, so we got back from Maui, wonderful trip. Hi, Janie. A week ago, Monday. Okay, we flew into Texas, and then we were there a day, and then we drove up to Missouri the next day, Tuesday. And then I had time to unpack my room, back all of this hot mess. Whew, I need to straighten it up some. But I did get everything unpacked where I could start working and creating. Hey, Connie. And so did that, made some projects, had some fun, finally getting to work with some of my new annual catalog stuff. And then in 2019, Jackie and I, we go in the park here in Roaring River State Park here in Missouri. Bass Pro Shops and puts on a Wonders of Wildlife. It's classes about outdoors and it's got all kinds of things. It's really fun. They have an auction to raise money every year, and there was in that auction a 2-night stay at a really nice hotel in Branson, Chateau on the Lake. Okay, we had never been there. It's not someplace we would normally go, but it was for a good cause. So Jackie bid on it. Well, we won the auction. Well, with COVID and everything, they were closed for a while, and then we just, we didn't go for a year. So I called, and they extended our certificate, which was supposed to be just for 1 year. They extended it until the end of June 2021. So knowing we were going to have family coming up and visiting from now till almost the end of June, we thought we've got to go do that. So there we pack again and go over there. But y'all, it was so much fun. We saw 3 shows. We saw Six, which that's the third time we've seen them, an a cappella brothers choir. It's good. We saw Reza, the illusionist, and that's really good. And then, let's see, when was it? Tuesday night. What's today? Thursday? Yeah, Tuesday night, we saw the Haygoods. And the Haygoods is probably the longest running show there in Branson. And I thought, I don't know if I want to go see that, you know, but somebody had told me that is a great show. And y'all, it is wonderful. It's another family act. And it was wonderful. Great music, talented instruments. They can play so many instruments. They dance. It's great. It was great. So we had a lot of fun. Anyway, we got back yesterday afternoon, and then I had to do a little bit of house cleaning this morning. Had to vacuum, so I'll probably have dust bunnies everywhere. But anyway, here I am now getting ready to share with you. So I'm so glad you're here. I see we have some people watching. So I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera down and show just a couple of things. Okay, so if this makes you dizzy, close your eyes right now, okay? Let me flip you so I don't have my face all up in your business there. Okay, let me go down. Y'all remember, if you watched last week, this was a fiasco. Okay, I guess I'm going to hold it right there. Okay, here goes. Oh, much better. Yeah. Okay, here we go. That should look pretty good. Get my shirt out of the way there. Okay, center that up a little bit. Okay, here we go. Let's get started. If you're just now tuning in, welcome. I'm Lisa Brown with Ink and Inspiration, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, home based in Texas, but sometimes in Missouri, and we're in Missouri right now. And I'm so excited to share with you today. But first, just a couple of things. If you place an order from June 1st to 14th and use this host code, I will send you a little gift if your order is $50 or more, okay? So this is on my blog, and then I will post it here on the Facebook page too, okay? All right, and then next, for sharing this live video last week, Melinda Guy, her name was randomly drawn to get the project that I made. Remember this little fun fold ice cream card, and then I sent in an envelope too. So Melinda, I'll be sending that to you. So today I'm going to be doing a really sweet card using this Sweet as a Peach bundle. Y'all, this is adorable. My mother, God rest her soul, loved peaches. And when we would before we had a place here in Missouri and we'd travel back and forth to come up in the summer, she would always, thank you, Paula, she would always, we would stop and get her some fresh peaches from a roadside stand, and she would love that. So this really reminds me of her. So every time I make one of these cards, it's like, okay, Mom, this one's for you. So anyway, this is darling. It is in the annual catalog. You can buy it as a bundle, and it's 10% if you put both of these together, okay? I'll have all that information on my blog, and some of it will be here. And the blog post with this project, so you can get all the details, will probably be up sometime tomorrow, okay? All right, and tomorrow is my birthday. Y'all, I'm going to be 64, and wow, how did that happen? But anyway, thank you for those of you that I've been getting cards in the mail. And if you send a card, next week sometime, I'm going to do a video and show off all these beautiful cards that I'm getting, okay? So anyway, yeah, I'm a June 4th baby. So anyway, let's get started. Okay, let me see. Thank you, Pam, for sharing. All right, so I am using Calypso Coral as the card base because it's one of the colors in the designer paper that coordinates with this set. So I cut it at 4 1/4 by 11 and scored it at 5 1/2. So I'm just going to give it a good crease on that score line. And welcome everyone that's tuning in. Hello. Okay. I'm still coughing just a little bit, so excuse that. Okay, the next layer is a, oh, I got something on it. I can use this side. This is another piece of Calypso Coral, 4 by 5 1/4, and I embossed it with the Tasteful Textiles. This was from the last catalog, and y'all, this is a very popular embossing folder. It's beautiful. It's very subtle, but it's got lots of texture, okay? And that's going to be layered there on top. I'm not going to glue it yet because the next layer is going to be some of this beautiful Peach and Peach Blossoms Designer Series paper, okay? And look at those colors. Isn't that beautiful? Now, I went ahead and cut this the same size, 4 by 5 1/4, but I'm going to do some cutting of that, and I'm not going to cut it on camera because I've got the big boss, the big Stampin' Emboss machine off to the side. I'm going to be using the mini. But look at these borders dies, the basic borders dies. Love these, okay? And I'm using this one, and you would want to make sure it's going to be a portrait card. So this paper definitely has directionality. You see that? Okay, this would be kind of upside down, all right? So I laid this on my Big Shot cutting plates, and what I do, this end and this end, let me show you. The two ends, you center your paper on here before you play like this is on my big Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Center that, and then I come up about 1 inch or 1 1/4 inches from the bottom, and you see the ends of the die go completely across the die cutting plate, all right? So what I do here is I just eyeball it and center and try to get the same number of scallops going up. So that's like 1, 2 1/2, 1, 2 1/2. So that would be good. And then I would put a Post-it here to secure that, and then run that through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And when you do that, let me get these out of the way before I lose them, y'all. When you do that, you get this beautiful edge. You see that? It shows up especially beautifully once you put it over top of the textured plate. See that? It is just so pretty. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and use some liquid adhesive here. Look at those little peaches on the back. Isn't that cute? So I have made several projects with this bundle, and you'll be seeing that, in the next several weeks. I'll share here and there because I'm making other things too. But I even found some peach candy, y'all, and I'm doing a little 3D project with that pretty soon. I haven't made it yet, but I'm excited to. Okay, so that's ready to go. So we're going to set that aside. Now let's do some stamping that we're going to die cut, okay? So I've got these two, the base and the layers. Thank you, Pam. And let's do some stamping. Now another color in the designer paper is Petal Pink. I left all of my in color cardstock in Texas, so I had to order some more, and it's supposed to be here tomorrow, I think. So I'm using a coordinating color, and I'm going to stamp the Pale Papaya, which is a great color for peaches, and stamp that on here. So it's these 3 little peaches, and you can see the little indentation at the top of each one that shows you where the stem would go. I had a little bit of trouble with that at first, but then once I saw it, I thought, okay, I got it. So I'm stamping there, and I'm looking at that, and I'm thinking, okay, I need a little bit more color there. Okay, I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to ink this up again with Pale Papaya. Then I am going to get my Calypso Coral and a sponge dauber and ink that up on the Calypso Coral. And then I'm going to come around the edges here and give it some shading with that little bit darker shade. Now watch. See that? It even looks more lifelike. You see how that is? Isn't that pretty? And such an easy technique, so be sure you try that. You can do that on all kinds of things, all kinds of images. So, okay, so let me put these back so I won't lose them for later. Okay, I've stamped that. Now I have the stems and the leaves. And so I've got that mounted on a block. Is this big enough? Yep. I try to use my scraps. And so I have this. And, you know, when you use the little Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, you need to keep your paper narrow. So on this one, I'm just inking it up and stamping. And hopefully that's going to be wide enough. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut these out. Let's use the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Okay, so I'm going to get these peaches. And then I love how the stamp, all three are on one stamp, and now all three are here. Okay, so I'm looking at this, and you can see the little points right there? Can you see that? Let me hold it. That's where the stem is going to go. So that helps you line it up. Okay, so I'm going to put that there. And then I'm going to get a Post-it note. And okay, let me find my other. Here it is, right in front of my nose. So now I'm going to run this through. Good morning if you're just tuning in. Hi, Lynn. Thank you. Okay. Look at these cute little peaches. Look. Isn't that cute? And they're stamped on petal pink using pale papaya and Calypso Coral. Okay? All right, so I'm going to put those right here so I don't lose them, right in front of me. And then we're going to die cut the leaves and the stems, okay? So I'm going to put this back here. And let me get the stems. Have it over here on my magnet sheet. Let's line this up. I love these dies that fit on this little mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Okay, so is that right? Looks like it. Yeah. Okay, so I really need to rip some of that off. So technical, huh? Just rip it off. Okay, so now I've got to reposition. And I'm showing this. I know most of you watching probably know how to die cut, but I do have some new people that, you know, this is all new. And we have to remember that, you know, sometimes we need to show everything. I don't do it all the time, but on this, and see, y'all can see I'm having issues for some reason. Okay, let's see. I don't know why I am. There we go. It's like once I get two leaves lined up, the rest of them are going bonkers. So, all right, let's get this on here. So, anyway, I was saying earlier, y'all, I was vacuuming like a mad woman this morning and dusting. You know, it's like, where does all that come from? So, here we go. All right. There we go. That looks okay. It's not perfect, but it looks okay. I'm going with it. So I'll show you another little trick that I do. If I cut out a die that I'm not real happy with, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, that didn't. I get a sponge dauber and that ink. Let me get this out of the way for a minute. Get this. And I just kind of sponge around the edges. You know, if I have too much white space, that bottom just did not do. I must have had, with photopolymer stamps, I will say this. It's probably a user error here. With photopolymer stamps, you know, they're real wiggly. I mean, very flexible, I guess is a better word. And if you stretch it at all, when you put it on your block, it's going to be distorted. It's not going to be, in other words, you noticed how I struggled with my die? Let's see. That I probably pulled it too far. Let me do this again. Teaching moment here. Okay, so when you put it down, just lay it down. I probably stretched it, okay? So be careful when you mount it. You can also do this. Lay it down on your grid sheet or your work surface and pick it up like that, okay? All righty. But see, I kind of covered up my little mistake there with some ink. Okay, so we have that. And now I'm going to get this top layer again that we put the basic border die, that scallop. And so when I went to create this, I started putting it here, and I felt like it looked fine, okay? But I felt like it was getting lost. Let me show you here. Like this, okay? And I thought, this kind of overwhelms it a little bit, that background. Hey, Linda. And so what I did, my tried and true vellum little trick, is I cut a piece of our vellum with the Stitch So Sweetly dies, and I'm going to put that as the background. Now, it doesn't change it that much, but to me, it makes a difference, okay? So that's going to go here, and then the peaches are going to go around it. So I kind of angled it a little bit like that. You see how that kind of mutes the background, and then it pops out a little more? Might be just me, but that's always worked for me. So let me go ahead and get some Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm going to pop these up. I think I need some small ones. Got all just the right sizes here. I used a larger one behind the larger petal and a smaller one here. You could even cut our foam strips and use those. I'll put another one here. So it sure is quiet outside. Jackie must have finished where he went in. I made him some chicken salad, and maybe he went in to eat that. And y'all, it's simple chicken salad. So it's not really fancy. I remember my mom used to put like celery and chopped up onions and all that in it. I ain't got no time for that right now. So excuse me. All right. Thanks, Pam. Yeah, I like using that. It doesn't cover up the designer paper, but yet it kind of gives your image there a little bit of a background and lets it stand out a little bit more. So I'm going to kind of angle that a little bit like that. And then you notice I'm putting this on before I glue this down, and there's a method to my madness. Okay, so now I think I'm going to use the big ones on these peaches. Let me see if I can figure out where these go. when you're stamping, it definitely makes a difference on the positioning of these peaches, but since I'm placing them on and, you know, separately, it's not as big. I know this one goes right up here. Vellum is great. It's just, you know, the thing with vellum, the trickiness with vellum is adhering it down without seeing the adhesive. But there's all kinds of ways to do that. Okay, so here are our 3 little peaches. Isn't that cute? All right, so I have that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my liquid glue, and you see all this space that's covered by the dimensionals and the cardstock, the cut cardstock. That's where I'm putting my glue, just behind it, and it won't show. Because when, you know, glue, especially this liquid glue, will dry and you can see it through the vellum. So if you're wanting to mask that or camouflage or hide it, then do that. Okay, there you go. See, that's coming together nicely, isn't it? Okay, so now I'm going to set that aside for a minute, and I have one more thing I want to die cut, and I am using the word hello on this card, and there is a die that cuts some of the sentiments, and the hello is a little tall for this, but I still used it. I thought it was fine. And I am cutting before I'm stamping, because with photopolymer you can do that, okay? Especially on the sentiments. And it's just easy. I don't have to put a sticky note down, just run it through and cut it, and then I'm going to stamp. Okay, so here we go. Got that. Let's move this out of the way, and that's Calypso Coral. So I'm going to use Calypso Coral ink, and I'm going to stamp hello. And when you put hello on the outside, it could be any kind of card on the inside, right? Okay, so I'm going to justify it a little more to the right. Stamp. Okay, see how it's there? You see that? It's kind of dark. What's up with that? Okay, it's on there, okay? So let's go on, and I'm going to attach that. I'm going to slip this in underneath that vellum, like that, okay? So I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive, little glue back here, and the vellum is not completely stuck down, you know, all the way, so you can just, and if you needed to trim the edge there, you could. So there's my hello, okay, and then here we go. I have a bow. This is the Pale Papaya. I love this ribbon, y'all. This, I've used so much of it already. I've already tied the bow, and I'm going to pull it down a little bit so I don't cover up my hello. And I have a glue dot on the back, okay? So I want these tails to kind of come down rather than over the peaches, okay? So now that is going to go over top of this. Isn't that cute? Isn't it sweet? I love it. I love the color combination. And several years back, Calypso Coral was my favorite color. Now I like Calypso Coral. I like Bermuda Bay and Coastal Cabana. Those are kind of like my colors. So I have a ton of Calypso Coral because I love it. So that was just perfect for using for this card. Now, the little gems for the, you know, the new in color jewels are back ordered, not even orderable right now. Those are beautiful, y'all. So when they come in, you need to get them. Hey, Kristen. Okay, rain, rain, rain. We've been having it here too. It's pretty today though. All right, so now, since we don't have the in color jewels, I found that these genial gems, these are in the mini, aren't they? I think. These work great. Look, they're sparkly and they look peach or papaya, okay? Yeah, Lynn, you're definitely Georgia, huh? I think that's great. I thought about you when I saw that set, this set in the catalog. Okay, so now I'm going to take some of these, 3 of them. I'm going to take a large one, and I'm putting it down here on the vellum, and a small one. And then I'm going to take another, let's do a small one, and up here, okay? So there is the front of the card, and now I'm going to do the inside. Surprise, surprise. Here is basic white, 4 by 5 1/4, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my stems again, and hopefully I've got those mounted, not all wonkers. And I'm going to stamp this, okay? Up in this corner. And if I go off a little bit, it's okay. So I put the tip of the stem up in the very corner of the cardstock, okay? So now, let's look at our next. I'm going to use the blossoms this time. And the little one goes here. Look, I'm going to kind of practice. It goes like that, okay? But I'm going to stamp it just like I did with the peaches. Okay, I'm going to use a little bit of Calypso Coral to highlight it. So, here we go. I'm going to make sure that was clean. Pale Papaya. And y'all, when the in colors came out, probably that was, you know, if I had to order them in the what I like the best to what I like the least. Not that I mean I like them all. You know what I mean? In order of preference. That was probably my last one, and now I love it. It just goes to show you, you don't know until you start using it, right? Okay, so here I'm doing Calypso Coral on these flowers, just like I did for the peaches. Move that out of the way, and come up here and eyeballing this. I'd rather get it too close to the stem than too far away. You know what I mean? Like they're floating. That's pretty good, huh? Look how pretty. I love that sponging that color on there. It makes such a difference. Okay, then I've got this little pom-pom looking stamp, and I'm inking that up with Calypso Coral straight on in the center for each flower. Ta-da! Okay, now we can put it on the inside, and it's going to be done. So, thank you, Kristen. Yeah, I love this set, y'all. It is so pretty. So, you can expect to see some more projects with this in the near future. I like it. You know, it's floral. It's got a floral, but it's got the peaches, and then the sentiments that go with the peaches are just precious. Okay, so there we go. Okay. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching. You know, I'm going to have family here for the next 3 weeks, but I am going to try to do my lives. Now, my live next week may be just me showing my birthday cards and maybe something quick, okay? I'm not sure. So, anyway, thank you for watching. Here's my host code till June 14th. If you'd like to place an order, you don't have a demonstrator, I'd love to to serve you, and let me know if I can help you with anything. Y'all have a great day, and I will talk to you again soon. Okay, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.